Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fantasy Take TV podcast for round 12. Bit to talk about after the first buy round and still 4 more to come. So, George is looking at trading in Bont this week. Temptation is too real, but we'll talk about that and a lot of other targets in a bit. Some rookies, a couple of rookies, people still looking to trade in, and maybe some loops. We'll chat a bit about what we think the strategy is there. Some other cheaper money makers, but we got a lot of questions from the Discord, so we'll mainly just attack those today and then look at the targets that everyone's looking to be trading in post the buy. So we'll start it again, George, hey, because my PC just shut off in the intro. So how'd you go this week, mate? And get into it.
Yeah, it's funny the picture that you left up, that or the freeze frame that you had. I won't go into it. When your computer froze, not the best timing, but never mind that. So a few trades this week. Traded out Marriage Stone and Zach Reed for Merritt, Sheldrick, and Gray. So I think it's like overall you take that. Avoided the marriage price drop and then copped Philippou. So what was the point? Didn't really gain any advantage there. But MVP this week. Got to give it to Sheldrick, I think. Jordy Clark stiff there, but sort of like a needle in the haystack, trying to find someone that's going to make money and not be sub. So we'll see how this goes. I think we both went there this week, and yeah, he was good. Maybe slammed on the boot a bit too much, but other than that, I thought he was okay. So I think fingers crossed he goes okay. A fault of the week, Mateus. That killed me, that trade. Scored 5 and subbed out, and yeah, the tweet of Josh Gablich, they expect him to play after his bye, and I'm like, I'm good, bro. We're done here. So that stung a lot. It's more like that trade. If I just went to a rookie that made 50K rather than pick someone who lost 30K, that's a trade in that 80K. That could have gone on top of Josh Dacos to get to Whitfield. So that's going to like sting in that regard. I can get there, but I'll be going down to 1 or 2 trades. I don't think we can do that. That's too low, I think, for post-buy. So we'll see how we go. But like overall, I didn't even say my score. I think it was 1850 something, which is okay. I mean, I did trade TDK. I traded Daniels, traded Chera. I traded somebody else as well on that buy. So it was okay. Like, yeah, you take the week, went up a little bit in the ranks to, I think I forgot my rank, about 1700 or something like that. So 1800 rather. So fingers crossed we keep going up. But yeah, this week will be tough with a few Saints boys and the 3 Freo players I have. So it should be good. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, how'd you go this week?
Well, this was going to be my worst buy round for sure. So did get saved by a few premiums. I should mention Jordy Clark for both of us as well. He really helped this week as an MVP. I think I just scored just over 1800, so went up 500 ranks, sitting at about 6K. So I've got to take that because I didn't trade all those round 12 premiums like you did. I traded Sheasel though. Sort of struggling. I was genuinely struggling for 18. So like I had 18 just after teams got announced, and my 19th was Boxall and my 20th was Bo Allen. So you know what I mean? I pretty much had 18. And my 18th was actually Archer Reed. So he honestly might get the MVP as well for giving me a 65, as my 18th when, beat like Chad Warner, who I don't have, beat Rankin, who I have, that was a very handy score from him. Shouldn't really still have him. Should have cashed him out a long time ago, but just never found the right chance because there was always an actual rookie to bring in. Not that they've done anything for me, but those weeks I was trying to bring in like a Huswader or a Boxall or Carroll, instead of just doing the R3 swap, like there was a rookie that I was like, I need to get this rookie that might make me cash. Well, none of them ever did. So yeah, still had Arch. And his break even's back down to reasonable levels. So maybe I keep holding him again.
Here we go again.
I have to get Angus Clark. We'll talk about that. So what I do, got rid of Zach Reed as everyone did. I obviously should have got rid of Marriage as well. I think it would have cost me maybe 30 points because I would have had to cop Boxall's score. But at the end of the day, that's much better than
30K,
copping the 40K
40K.
or whatever it was price hit. So, yeah, should have just traded him. I would have had a lot of money in the bank, but, would have been better off not losing, 50K or 40K. So, yeah, that was a slight mistake. Went Sheldrick with you, got in Dacos because, for 530, it's, if I hadn't got him by now, that's a pretty good price to get him in at, even if he's playing slightly injured, as some people may think. It's still Nick Dacos, so we get him in. And then I had Isaac Keeler in as my other one and carrying about 200 and something K heading into Sunday. And
here we go.
I decided, some Saints fans, Seb in the Discord saying that he's a threat to play forward. He played back last week and we both, thought he was actually half decent. I didn't realize his price when we were talking about him until you mentioned him on the pod. And I was like, oh, yeah, actually watching him looked all right in defense last week. But, Saints fans think he could play forward, could get subbed out, could even get dropped, in weeks to come for Alex Taru whenever they want to debut him. So it was sort of too many red flags. And I was like, well, shit, I didn't trade in Gray because I was also a bit maybe sus on him in the future weeks. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to spend this 200K and get Shannon Neal in against West Coast. It's something I never do. And I was just the temptation, especially, sitting at my rank and my cash is very, very poor. I was just swinging for the fences with that one. We're watching the game together, a bit frustrating. I swear the man just didn't get kicked the ball. And then to watch Jez kick 4 goals in the last 10 minutes, trying as hard as he's tried all game. And Neil just, didn't get much. So he went up 40K. He's probably not going to make much more past that in the next 2 weeks.
You're the Essendon matchup.
Yeah, he just got the 60, though. We needed a decent score against West Coast because he's got Gold Coast this week at home, and then that Essendon game, as you said, when they got no key defenders. So look, he'll just sit at F6, and then we'll have a plan for him down the track, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, happy with Sheldrick. He's probably going to sit at my flex through the whole buys, and then just see what price he gets to, and either he stays as my 23rd flex, or if he gets somewhere decent, I can flick on, 100K from Moraes or something and get him up to someone who's dropped, some cheap half premium, whatever you want to call him. So we'll see. But yeah.
Do you still have Horn Francis?
Yeah, he's the one I kept him instead of McRae. So
yeah, okay.
We don't think he's going to play this week because of last week's injury report, but being a Monday, we don't know the update. We'll find that out tomorrow. So anyway, enough about us. I think, just for me, happy I sort of got through this buy because I could have been a lot worse. Saw a few 1600s and 17. I thought that was going to be me for sure. Carrying obviously Cherry, TDK. I still got Eddie Richards in a few month ago, so he was on that buy. Rosie still got Horn Francis carrying. So there was like 6 premiums, right? Yeah. And most people sort of had maybe 4, or not most, but a lot
3.
have traded. Yeah, 3. So a lot have traded those guys. So I thought it'd be a lot worse. So we'll take it. And then like you, I've got I think 4 Saints Freo guys this week. I think you got 5, do you?
I had 6, but trading Philippou, if that counts.
True.
But I've got 5. So
yeah.
So
look, I think I'm just pretty even across the rest of the buys, and obviously we'll get it, in a couple buy players off their buy. So, all right, let's move on to a little bit of the agenda. So, we'll just start quickly on the rookies, I guess, George. It's just really Clark. So he's the one that's that got the best prospect. Dropped that 90 in his first game, 44 last week against Brizzy. Probably expected that. I think he was playing on Berry or on the tough matchup. He's just the one to get in. Look, whether or not we end up trading him back out, I'm sure maybe some of us in a bit of a crisis will, maybe to try and get our 23rd premium. But it's going to take him obviously a few weeks to make cash. He's the one, and then I don't think much needs to be said. George, do you got any opinion on him? I mean, we've said this every week, he's the clear rookie, and then it's gone tits up.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's an amazing rook, but I think it's just about the best we have. I think Pedler we'll get to in a second is good too, but I think we'll go him. I reckon I'm not even sure I'm going to end up cashing him in because I'm quite low on trades. So he can just sit there as D7, and if he needs to be called upon, maybe we can loop him and he flukes a 3-goal game or something again. We can like sort of field him, but I think he's the one where the job security should be good. They have massive injuries, and we've seen Jones is injured. I can't remember the date on or the timeline, and then O'Hawley's done a hammy, so that wing should be his.
Yep.
And he's played pretty promising, and they seem to like him and young talent. I'll be going there this week. I think a lot of people would have gone there last week, which is fine. But yeah, he's straight in for me.
And then Pedler, as you mentioned before, a bit elevated, 150k. I just think, for me, if I'm getting Clark and then I need to get a second rookie, we'll talk about it, but I'm probably not spending 50k on Pedler over a 100k rookie. I know. I mean, if you desperately need the cash, like, I don't know.
Hypocrisy of paying 300. Would you pay for Shannon?
Yeah, he's obviously going to whoever my F6 is, but
That's right.
when it's a rookie like this, George, like as you said before with Clark, we may not even trade them out. Like trades are going fast.
Well, I
you
think
know, into the single digits, I'd say most people are this week, and it's like I've still got to use a few to get my 22nd and 23rd player. Like I don't even know if I get Clark and then I get Pedler as well, would I even trade one of them out, let alone both, to cash them in? And as I said, in that instance, I'd probably just rather the 50k and get someone, you know.
I think like Pedler's 150. Let me have a look.
On the dot, yeah. So it's a bit higher, you know.
I'll speak. So yeah, last night I think I got pinged 5 or 6 times. George, should I get Pedler in? And I try and answer as best as I can. If I needed cash, I think I would grab him. I think he'll be a decent rook. Am I 100% sure that he will avoid the sub? No. The way I see it is we're using Draper as a sub almost permanently at this rate, and it was Berry until Crouch went out. So I think one of those 3 will be sub going forward. I'm not sure on Crouch, but regardless, it's him or Berry. But I think they'll continue to use that in the sub role. I can see Laird coming back into the team, and Brodie Smith played pretty well. So I can see him starting as a sub potentially and kicking out Draper. And then I like the best 22. It's decent, I think. So yeah, Pedler has Taylor's spot as well, and I think he'll keep Taylor out of the team because he's better than Taylor. I think the off chance is that he could potentially be sub if they stop using Berry or they want to use Smith as a sub, or I'm sorry, stop using Draper if he gets dropped. So yeah, and another thing is, well, actually last year he did his shoulder, so he's pretty much a write-off for last year. I think it was like did it in round 7, out for the season, so he didn't really have time to get going. So I think he stays in the team. I think there's an off chance he could be sub, but I think I would still go there if you need him because he plays that half forward role and he plays it pretty well. Has an impact, cracks in, tackles and stuff. So he was a good rookie for us a few years ago. I reckon he got to like 300k maybe. I think he can do 60, and I think he'll make however much money that is he makes from that. I think he's an okay rookie if you need him. I don't need him. I need the 30k save from Clark, which I'm not. Yeah, as we said, we're not even going to use his money. I think thought he was good. I'd get him if you need him. I think.
Yep. And that's really, really it. Like looking at the break evens, there's obviously others who have gone up, like Gray's gone up now, Keeler's gone up. There's not much else, you know, around the rookie price. So, and then I guess we could quickly talk about ones that played one game. George, I was looking before. So Farrell for Carlton, he played before the bye in defence. Young key defender. We're not really sure how locked in he is.
Sauce did his quad, so that's a straight swap when that.
He's there, but not someone that's too appealing. Johnson, the one for Essendon. So, again, so they both scored 50. Farrell just under, and Johnson, and then this guy did too. Caleb Mitchell, the Swans one. So they're the 3 that sort of played one game.
Mitchell's probably in for Mills. Play down back.
That's what it looks like next week. So yeah, this time we're not usually looking for too much money makers, but a lot of people in my boat are pretty short. So
Well, I think this week it's you grab Clark, and then if you need another peddler, I think like if the prices were reversed, I'd 100% go peddler over Clark for sure.
yeah,
But we'll be looking at the West Coast bloke McCarthy, whether he plays or not. I don't even care. Just 102 DPP, not 102, 99k now.
yeah,
DPP Rook. So people will look at him probably next week or the week after, because there's like Johnson. He might be all right. Like he needs some time to ease into the side, but he got subbed out. So I'm pretty sure he got subbed out. So I'm not sure that's like what the risk is there going forward. So we'll see.
yeah. Cool. And then that's anything else? And you got a few here like Erasmus and stuff. We spoke about them last week. They're all just over 200. So
I think Erasmus is playing okay at the moment. They're using Fife as the sub. Could they put Fife ahead of Erasmus? I mean, I think I'm not quite sure where they rate Fife. Is he just like is he an important piece to them? Is he just sort of there? I'm really not too sure. So the sub race is still there with Erasmus, but he's sort of taken his opportunity not too bad. So I think he'll definitely keep playing in the 23. For 233k, I think he's a good pickup when he was sub, but now it's probably a bit hard to go there for that price. And he's a buy.
yeah,
Kyle Lohman, worry about that ankle of his. Seems to flared up again during the game. Seemed to be fine. I don't know if he got it jabbed or something, but 230 is probably a bit expensive, but we know he's a guy that can get definitely deep into the 300s. And the fun one is Rory Atkins, 233k. If he plays, he scores.
yeah,
But does he play? Does he avoid the sub? I don't know because they got a lot of defenders out. There was a report that Farrell could be pretty close to coming back. And given where Porter out, are they going to give him another contract? Is there any point playing him? I don't think so. Even if he is best 22, like more looking at it from a development point of view, wasn't really supposed to be there. Was just kind of came in as a salary dump anyway. So I don't really know what their intentions are with him, but he has been like decent in the SNFL and apparently they're best in the SNFL and was good the first full game. I'm not going to go there. There's definitely a world where it works, so it's just the job security. Maybe we'll see what the Port injury list looks like and where the defenders are, because I think Jones or Sin, one of them was TBC, and then Farrell was a few weeks away, but apparently reporting that he could be back earlier, like Juan Francis. So we'll just look at I don't know, maybe ask in Discord if you have any questions on that one when team sheets come in. So I probably think it's a little bit too risky, but yeah.
Yep.
Would you even entertain it?
I think it's too late for me to get another one of those 200k players that I have to obviously trade out again. Not for me. I don't think.
So which rookies are you getting this week?
Well, Clark obviously, and then I got to decide, do I get Pedler as well?
Okay.
But I've got to figure out, will I actually trade, Pedler back out? Like probably, but my trades are getting thin. Gonna have to use a few to get. Well, depending who I try, I'm almost thinking trading out Lindsay this week to sort of keep enough in the bank to just go Murray, like have like 300k just to go Murray straight to Butters or something with one, not have to use two trades next week and cash in some, Carroll or something.
Yeah.
For 190k or something stupid. Like I don't want to. Trades are precious now, so I really can't be like using them on. I don't know, trading out Huswaite for 70k or trading out, Carroll for 80k. Like I don't think I can do that. So I've got to figure it out, George. My team's a bit of a shambles, but we'll speak about our teams towards the end and what we're thinking. But yeah, money makers. That's sort of it. I think we both. I mean, I had Shelley in as one of my trades early, and then you sort of talked yourself into it on like Saturday night, didn't you? Or Friday night.
I was watching because
you can only watch it or something.
You can't watch. I don't think you can watch footage of games on your phone. I mean, on the PC.
Yeah.
So you look it up on your phone. I don't know why it's like that, but there's me. It must have been very late at night watching Sheldrick highlights, and I'm like, because I remember like I watch Berry, and I think he's okay, but at like the top level, like holds onto it too long, doesn't like hands not quick enough. I'm watching Sheldrick and he's just like it's just lightning hands that he's got. He sort of picks the right
He
option.
doesn't he just gets it and gives it, which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But Berry will actually try and use his legs and go somewhere with it. And Sheldrick is just, I've got the ball. Let's see how fast I can get rid of it.
Sort of, yeah.
But
I saw enough where the contested ball was going to be decent, and the role got better as the game went on. I think he was the second or third CBA mid.
Second half for sure. Yeah, I mean across the game, it ended up being like second, but second half it might have been number one.
Yeah,
which he would have been helped by them getting pantsed by 12 goals at halftime. That's probably why. But I think did we both just see it as like the last maybe decent money maker that can get you some decent scores on field during the buys?
That's right, I think, because like the scores on the field, like a lot of people, like it's basically we've sideways the rookie pretty much to get to him. I think I did Stone to him, so it costs 30K. But instead of having
an extra 100,
instead of having Stone there, we've got an extra player that can hopefully do 80 plus. I don't want to get my hopes too high up with Sheldrick, but if he can just perform the way he has the last 3 weeks through the buys, instead of having a dead rook there, we've got sort of a mid-pricer there instead. And that's a lot of points. And we saw this week, I've got Warner, I've got Rankin, I've got people had Bice, people had, Marriage. There were just so many bad scores. Cleary was sub. Corey Warner, for those that have him, scored like 20 or something. So having that extra player all through the buys, not only make money, but give us scores is actually going to it's going to help a lot, I think. So I think for next year, and it's why I was low on trades, but I was a bit hesitant to pay for that sort of player, but I just wanted to do it just because it's going to give us a little bit more breathing room for the next few weeks, especially for me this round where it's going to be tough. I think I'm fielding 20, but I think 4 crap rooks or 3 or 4 crap rooks. So anyway, I think that's enough on Sheldrick. But yeah, having that extra player as a mid-pricer over the rookie has made a big difference. I think we'll hopefully see how we go.
Yep. I just wanted to give another quick mention to footy scores this week. A lot of people asking, especially around this time, what price the play going to be. We mentioned it on the pod, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. And if you're just listening on the audio, head over to footyscores.net, and then he actually does have an app. Hammy does now, but he isn't fully advertising it because it's still a little bit in the works. But the website's, up and going. He's adding stuff all the time. But I think the main thing I wanted to show that maybe I think I did last time, but just to update people, is this thing here. So obviously projected price changes and stuff. And there's a good account on Twitter that does this, but without having to ask, I hope, seeing if your player's there, literally every player after the game is sort of not long after it's finished with their final score will have their next week's price and then break even. So, stuff like this is always going to be off by a couple thousand, but it gives you, a general idea throughout the round, especially, if you're going to make some trades throughout the round, you're not sure, will I have this much, that much, say for Butters, for instance, next week, George, see what he scores in this GWS game, then we'll know what price he is, and you can sort of plan see if you'll be able to get him, whatnot. It's handy for stuff like that. When rolling lockout's a thing, whilst it is a thing, it's an advantage to actually look ahead to see where you're going to be at next week. So, it's a good resource.
No, it's really good. I use it a lot now. You can even see the score worm of the players, like when they score points.
Yeah, actually, that's something I didn't. Yeah, that's something I didn't show. First time we showed it. So, I mean, that's not just for scoring. Like for the SuperCoach score, you can click on that and see sort of how they went. For Sinclair, this is a good George at halftime. Very nervous. Second half.
Tell you what,
more happy.
Yeah,
but you can do it for everything, right? Touches. So touches. 19 at halftime, and you can sort of see how he went. See when the clangers were.
It's so good.
So really good thing by Hammy. Do that for every stat. So really, really nice to have it all in one spot. All right, George, do you want to go through these Discord questions that people have been asking?
Yeah.
Always seems to be Adelaide pointed towards you, but Rankin, look, we're not going to trade him. He's
No.
still playing for like at this current point in time, if not a finals team, like a top 4 team, almost looking like the Crows at the moment. Whether they finish there, who knows? But obviously, the concern is a bit of his mid-time has gone down a little bit. Is that much of a concern for you?
I think Frico tweeted 70% forward time at the moment, which is a reasonable swing. I think it was in the 30s his forward
70%
time,
mid.
and then
Yeah.
it sort of flips, which is a bit of a worry. I mean, in this role, he's still getting around the ball enough. Hopefully, he can just do 90 plus at worst. Can't trade. I'm not sure this mid forward split sticks either. It could be. Dawson was on radio this morning saying like him resting forward just allows him to stay a bit more fresher through the midfield, and it might be a little bit like that with Rankin. Don't need to give him maximum mid clock all the way, especially middle of the year. So I think the mid clock will go up a little bit at times, but I think the doubt is if he's top 6 or not, and if he's mid clock is getting shut out a bit, then probably not. But hopefully he's close enough from here on out. Not going to trade.
Yeah. If you had the luxury trades, I don't know. I don't think many people are in that boat, but
So like, yeah.
I'm not even sure though. I still would, George. Like, unless you didn't have like maybe a Nick Martin, but again, that's going to cost so much. I don't think anyone really would be in a position to trade him.
The mid clock can easily go back up the next few weeks, so hold.
Yeah, and Adelaide should keep winning, so Isaac can always turn it on. He just hasn't, like, a lot of games that he should have scored 120, and he just hasn't. Too many clangers and been a bit frustrating. So, it is what it is. Roberts, I mean, we ask this every week. Everyone, I don't know, 2 months. Am I trading Roberts? Stuff this guy. He's averaging 95. Like this, people make it sound like it's a lot worse than it is, and I know maybe it is if he's like if you don't have a Sinclair, or you don't have a Whitfield, or you don't have it. Like, I think that's where people are going, "Oh, this it feels a lot worse." But look, obviously you're not trading him this week. Got Richmond. He's bye next week. I think we've said with Discord last night, like, Nas is now 500k. Could have been even cheaper. He actually could have got my MVP for the week for him somehow churning out a ton. He's 507. Roberts 450. Maybe gets a little bit more if he scores well this week. If you're not happy with him, 50k to go from him to Nas, and it works out. Nas off the bye, Roberts into his bye. You think you've got the trade to do that, and you're not going to be going down to too few. I think that's a very easy one. But outside that, I'm keeping him. Like, I know it's gonna people aren't too happy, but we've seen Bice get subbed out. He really was a flash in the pan. I mean, doesn't mean he can't come back and still be good for them in the future. But does he even keep his spot? Like, maybe he doesn't in the team next week, and then it really is Roberts' backline again.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll see.
So we'll see. Like, this week, you're not trading. On the buy, it's a decision to make, and then go from there. But I've said that every week. So get to the buy. I think we should probably talk about him.
Yeah,
whether it's
I think
a trade.
Before looking at flipping one of these types of players, I think priority is getting the 23rd premium, and then whether you have the trades to, and how.
Yeah.
People always ask, how many trades should I go down to? Well, how many are you comfortable going down to? Like, in the past, I've gone down to 3 post buy, and it's cutting it a little bit thin.
It's a long road home. Like, it's still like a good
just halfway through the
7-8 weeks. Yeah, so it's
left.
a long time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I think hopefully just turns up this week, and that will hold. Even post buy will hold for a bit longer, and then we can properly make a call later. But yeah, for me, I'm not flipping him to a Butters or flipping him to something like. Try and get your other rookies off, upgraded first, and then see what happens there.
Yeah.
Next question is marriage has to go. That's not a question. That's a statement, and that's an easy one. Yeah. Look, I think I said it at the start. I should have obviously traded him in very nice hindsight. Like you were right in worrying about the wing time for a quarter and a half. Looking at the team sheet, he was named back pocket again. It wasn't obvious to me that he was going to be playing wing again. So West Coast once again, Minis pulled the old wool, and then he actually played all right for 2.5 quarters, and then
Dempsey started cooking him in the third.
Yeah, like Dempsey did nothing all game, and then he had the biggest last quarter. and he got pulled. So, yeah, I mean, once the game started and he wasn't playing backline, I was like, oh, he's going no matter what anyway, because like I can't hold this anyway, and it was just hopefully get something decent.
You looked at
But yeah,
team
nah.
sheets, yeah. I don't think we saw Dewar taking kick-ins.
Yeah, well, they went back to him because he was doing that before Marich was in at the start
Yeah.
of the year. Then he got the ass. I don't know. They really don't know what they're doing there. And look, they actually played it right yesterday, but yeah, don't think we need to speak too much. George,
Move on. Yep.
go. Who will end up as your flex? So is it the same for me? Like, is Shelley going to be your flex for a bit through the buys and then see what happens?
So my plan
That's mine.
So my plan is a 9th mid. I think we earmarked probably start of the year we're going to get a third ruckman. For me, Gorn is
unattainable.
It's a long way down for me to even look at that because I'm paying for bonds. So I think I just resign on Gorn. Yeah. I think people will look at Cordwell. Cordwell, I think technically is going to be my flex. It makes me very nervous with his durability, but he has played 20 plus games the last 3 years, which gives me a little bit of confidence, but it makes me nervous. But at that price, you kind of save a trade going for that price anyway. And if he gets injured, as long as he makes a little bit of money.
Hopefully he's bet 500 and you can just swap him. Yeah.
If something goes wrong, yeah, you can, like a Horn Francis, I don't have, or something like that. If you don't have a ranking, maybe he'll get really cheap.
There'll be options.
I think are going, or Chad Warner.
Chad's getting cheap. Yep.
I think with Chad Warner, the lesson is only buy at rock bottom, nothing else. But anyway, so my plan is a midfielder. I think like a lot of if you look at a lot of my mids like Dunkley and Merritt with this role shifting around. Like I'm not even sure like Sarong. I'm not even sure a lot of them hit 110 average to be honest. So you can get a lot, like you can get that from some defenders. So I think it's just whoever you think averages the most could be, or you can afford. So it could be like a cheaper mid, a defender like a Holmes or something. I mean a ruck as well, like TDK. If you go to him and after the buy, could look at him. I don't know. See how he goes.
Lloyd Meek, you've been propping up.
Making me nervous, Lloyd. I think he's going to hit the 400 soon.
You mean even less? Isn't he already in the?
Not sure. I'd have to look at it.
There's probably.
I think for me, a midfielder, Sheldrick will sit there until he can. I'm within reach of Butters, so.
Yep.
Are you sort of thinking Sheldrick sit there as well? Like, is there anyone you have in mind that you'd like as your 23rd?
I'll see if I can get there. Like, I've got to go Lindsay to Butters as my last mid, and then I've got to turn big Shannon Knoll into a F6, which would probably be Chad, or we'll talk about some others, maybe Sam Darcy. So Sheldrick's just got to sit there and get to 300, 350.
I reckon.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, mine's not going to be pretty, George. It's not going to be pretty. So we'll get to that after the. I think Shelley's got to sit there for me, like through the whole buys, and then just see what he gets to. Hopefully, he can. Get as high as he possibly can, and then I'll have to use, like as I said before, like I don't know, 100K from one of these 200K rooks, or
maybe Clark
or whatever. Yeah.
And get him our 23rd completely hinges on Sheldrick. Like this pick,
pretty much.
One thing goes wrong and we're stuffed.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah,
big game this week against the Tigers. So I don't like who will end up as your flex. Probably better off like what type of player will end up as your flex, and is the question. We'll speak about some targets in a sec. And then last question is Levi. Happy to let go of him. I got rid of him before he's 90, which was a bit annoying 2 weeks ago, but subbed out this week. I mean, it's probably coming eventually. He's been pretty good to play all year. He's still a first-year player. So it was probably coming eventually. He's sort of just held around his, high 300s the last few weeks, and got you a decent score 2 weeks ago. Yeah, again, I've probably been happy to move on from him 3 weeks ago. It's just he's been fine to hold if you want, fine to trade, but again, I think that's the same. He's still got his buy coming up, but if you want to hold one more, I think what's break even, like 77 or something? That's fine. Like, not gonna lose too much one more week.
I mean, he has to go within the next couple of weeks anyway. So
exactly. So
I'm trading, but
that's up to you. I think it's fine either way.
Yep.
Probably most will trade, I would imagine. All right, let's look at some targets, George. The fun part. Probably just gonna. You've got a few down here, but I'll filter them out in my team. So we obviously Carlton and North, sort of the two main teams, and Port is the other one. Who was the other team on buy? Am I missing one, aren't I? No one's got any premiums from them. Who's the other team?
Port, Carlton, North, Dogs.
Dogs, yeah. Sorry, I'm stupid, obviously. So, who do you want to talk first? There's not many defenders, is there?
Dale, that's it.
Dale, he actually will be a very nice one to have, because we've been looking at I think a lot of people looking at Dogs players. To be honest, they got what is it not like 9 out of 11, 9 out of 12 at Marvel for the rest of the year. Really nice like short term run coming up. Hawks this week, who obviously pretty bad form. Saints, you can't read the Saints week to week, but they can make a game pretty dire sometimes and can play well. Tigers, obviously, and then Sydney, who are in all sorts. North. So that's like their next 5, and 4 of them are at Marvel. So barely, 550. It's just probably too much to spend. Like same price Whitfield at the moment, same price as or Nass is
50K,
cheaper. Exactly. It's just makes it hard.
Dale, but he's been very good Dale this year, really good. So currently hold that against him. You're fine if you want to go there, I think.
Rosie, if you didn't have, would you still be interested? Yeah. You still would be 530.
I think that's a reasonable price. I think he can do 104, 105. So I'll be happy. I've been happy with Rosie.
And then there's Shees, who few, including myself, traded out. Some have hold, so that'll be an interesting one. What happens with him down the stretch? So they're the defenders. Mids. This is the interesting part, the fun part. A lot of decent mids. A lot of options really. So like there's obviously all the doggies ones. Bont, the big target this week. I wonder how many traded him in. Let me have a look.
41%.
Yeah, most traded in Primo. That's going to be fun because I ain't getting that at 640k, George. That's what you got to look at. That's the question. Can you get this guy in for 640k and still be happy with what you'll end up with? No, we can't answer that for you.
Sort of your 1A, 1B, like Bont and this or this and that.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I'm just going to pick him because you get that spike off the bike. You need someone off that buy as well. That kind of plays into it.
Yeah.
And he's going to be top 8 regardless in the C option. I don't have the Gorn plus Sherry, so I've got Sherry and Bont, and they'll be my 2 main ones going forward. So,
yeah.
I'm going to go there. I've sort of worked it out where I'll be okay with that, paying that. It's not going to kill me. So, yeah, I'll be going there. If you don't go there, just hopefully like you got strength elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't. I just simply can't. It'd be like, I don't know, Sheldrick would be like my 22nd. Like, it just, for me, it's not possible.
Yeah.
But I got Eddie Richards, mate. He's 600k. That's my dog's.
Good. Yeah.
That's my dog's player. Probably Bont put 20 points on him every week. We'll talk about him like Eddie and Libba. Do you just, if you're going to bring one in, you spend 40k for Bont?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Yeah.
In one last 2 years, I think he was anyway. So I don't think you can
justify.
Really, yeah.
But as we've spoken about, obviously, bid everyone has for the year 585, but what, break even 200 or something, 190.
Bedford, hopefully.
To Bedford, so yeah, timing's not right.
Yeah, wait one. We'll see. This is one where I might wait later in the buys. It just depends on the break even might force your hand here, but we'll see how that plays out.
And then we've got, I'll quickly mention LDU. He's there for 500k. If that floats your boat, floats your boat. Doesn't float mine. Never has. West Coast this week.
The run's quite nice.
Him. Yeah.
I think he's like a budget option only if you can't get to anyone else.
Not for me. And then we'll talk about all these Carlton mids. So, Chera, obviously people either have or you've traded. And I don't think if you traded, you're probably not going back there.
You either have or you don't.
Just out of pride. But they got a few, Cripps is there, 530. He is coming off the Brownlow. He hasn't looked that good this year, but he's still averaging just over 100. If you're really desperate and you liked the Blues run, which is very good over the next month as well, a bit like the Dogs, he's there for 528. George Hewitt, I actually don't mind this one. I think since late last year, like last 6 rounds of this last year, and then up until this point this year, obviously until he's 60 just before the bye, he was averaging like 115. And he did that for us a few years ago when he first got to Carlton. He's had some back problems, George. You probably know, full list of injuries better than me, but a few niggles. But he started the year unreal. The thing is, he's 550 right now, and his break even's about 150. So, do you wait 1 week? Essendon, West Coast, North, Port, who are also not great this year. Obviously, them Pies and Brizzy, that's not great, but then the rest of the year is not too bad. Like, any interest in him? George, I know you're going Bont. You probably don't have room for him, but do you mind him as a pick?
I'm not really sure what we're going to get from him because the last 5 hasn't gone over 103, 150 break even.
His dream team really fell off the last 3 as well.
I'm just not sure, to be honest. I just don't trust it because he's sort of done it before, but he hasn't. If that makes sense.
For periods, yeah.
It could be good. I think I just probably won't go there. I don't know. If he finished the year averaging 95, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yep. I mean, he's the one getting the most centre, along with, he's the number 1, along with Cripps pretty much. And then it's the big sort of drop off to Kerr and Walsh. So he's been in there a lot, but yeah. We should probably just prefer Caldwell, even though he's not off his bye for 100K.
The 100K is the breaker there.
The kicker, yeah. And then Walsh is sub 500, for 496. Just isn't quite getting enough mid-time. That's really the main problem. We know what he can do in the past, and I don't know. I think a lot of people are off
CBAs the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, not good enough. But I think he did beat up on both. Carlton get the old West Coast North double up. I think he did well against both of them last time.
Yeah,
earlier in the year. But yeah, it's tough. A lot of people aren't too fond of him at the moment. And then what else have we got? Well, yeah, in the ruck, our 2 rucks. Oh no, not yours. You got bloody Rowan, don't you? Cherry and TDK. So yeah, I mean Cherry. If you don't have him, just like Gorn.
Yeah,
I think there's a way to get him.
You pay if you can. I don't think you have a choice.
Can you? I don't think.
Well, if you don't get him now, when are you going to get him against West Coast this week?
Never, George, because how do you trade in someone that's 730K?
So now or never, basically.
Yeah, it's never. It was 8 weeks ago when he was 550, just like it was for us with Gorn. So
that's all right.
We know how it rolls. And there's English, I guess. Mention him if you want. Would you rather English or Brown right now, George?
Brown. English is actually been okay this year. He's been better than last year. He's only averaging 100 and low hundreds though.
Yeah, 103.
I mean,
what's Rowan averaging without that 180 versus West Coast?
Bad start. I
don't want to hate on Rowan, but I did warn people of the experience. I started him last year. What's your 2 weeks been like, mate? It's not. I mean,
apparently he copped a knee knock. Apparently, he copped a knee knock last
That's
week.
Rowan, mate. That's Rowan.
Yeah.
He cops knocks. He does. I don't know.
He just
he's really good, but it's hard for him to be consistent.
Sometimes he forgets to think when he kicks. I think.
Oh yeah.
Happens.
I think he had 13 clang a game last year. I think I was at some event, luckily, because I don't know if I was watching that. I think it was against Essendon, and he just had 14 clangers, set records.
To be fair, bro, I thought he competed really well against Gorn.
It's non-Gorn owners, yeah. We could be happy.
No, look, it was a bad 2 weeks to get him in. I'm hopeful that the run home will be good because I think his last 5 last year was 130 or something. So if he can recapture 85% of that form on the run home, even 80% of it, I'll be happy.
Yep.
Probably a lot though to ask for.
And then forwards. So off the bye, obviously Horn Francis. I said before, I don't think we'll play this week.
You got a 22. Wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, and
Or
he'll obviously
2
drop in
weeks return.
price. Yeah,
Yep.
if he doesn't play this week, that'll delay it even more, which is a bit annoying. So if you don't have him, you probably want him to play. Caleb Daniel, if you still got him, you got him. If you don't, I don't think you're trading back in or
If
trading
Sheasel
him.
goes back, I think it's just gonna start spitting out 80s again. So
Yep.
but we don't really know what's gonna happen. So hold and don't do anything, don't trade in.
Yeah. And then if you're like me and can't spend all this money to get a pont, there's a couple of doggies, little forwards here, and Matty Kennedy has been basically doing 100 all year, under the very, very much under the radar, and he started about 400k as well. So he's been very, very solid. Don't think anyone would have him, but he is basically I'd sort of say equal third mid, judging by the numbers. He's pretty much getting, since Bont's been back, similar centre bounces to Bont. Obviously, Bont is the one that can spend a bit more time forward. So it's like English and Libber and Eddie sort of is the 1-2, and then Kennedy and Bont are sort of the 3-4 guys that get about 50%. So that's decent. Like in a doggies midfield that's clear like number one this year, scoring from stoppage like crazy. We've mentioned the good run enough times by now. I don't hate it. It's like going to be a weird one to trade in, but he's so solid. You almost just trust him to get you like 90 every week. Like he probably never goes massive, but he also probably never goes like horrifically.
Yeah.
Because he's just a solid player, contested ball winner, and the doggies are just playing really well in there, and he's playing around some, a really good midfield. So I don't think I ever pictures you trading in someone like a Matty Kennedy, but I think if you like him, he's there.
What does Treloar do? Where do the CBAs come from? Does he just play off half forward and sort of take Sanders' role?
Yeah, I don't think.
I think I'd like to see that for one.
Do you
before
break up? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's
His break even's 120.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
It's not really in my plans, but I think you could do a lot worse than Matt Kennedy. He was good. Like a few years ago at Carlton, he started off like a house on fire.
He's never really got a good run at it in a midfield, and now he's getting a good, a run in a good midfield four that are absolutely cooking. And I wouldn't be concerned about Treloar at all, George. I just don't think Bevo, like as much as people haven't liked him over the years. Surely he sees there's no reason to break this group up with how well they're going.
Yeah,
for someone like just to accommodate Treloar, who's really battled his injuries in the last year or so. I almost think Treloar should play off half back over like a Bramble or something.
Yeah, could do.
Use his run and dash. I doubt they do it, but
I think there's not much guarantee he stays on the park as well.
Maybe they should use him through the sub or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
But you got to remember he's all Australians last year, so I think you got to put some respect. But
of course,
no preseason, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway,
yeah, I think they should just manage him the rest of the year and get him right. Make sure he's good for finals.
Yeah.
And then there's Sammy Darcy. So this might be my savior here.
200 break
497k, 200 break even. Let him play for a week or two, and then he gets Richmond in round 15, Sydney, North. Hopefully low 400s, and I'll probably flick Shannon Neal to him for 50k. So
Destin here too.
That's my very early plan, but hey, mate, before he got injured, he was literally averaging 110.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy stuff.
I think it'd be a fun pick. Give it a few weeks, let the break even settle.
Yeah, exactly. See how he goes. Obviously, decent knee injury, so
yeah,
you want to get a look at him. Any other players off the bye, George? I've missed to try to just attack all the ones off the bye.
Not that I can think of, really.
And then I guess we'll just get to ones that, we spoke about Caldwell ad nauseum already. Obviously, he does have the buy still coming up, but just as someone that is at a decent price, I had it cooked and ready to go, George, and I just bitched it late on Thursday night. I don't know why. I was a bit nervous.
You had Caldwell loaded.
Yeah. Oh, look, I was playing around big time with my trades.
Yeah.
Not really knowing what to do.
Well, his DT score, he stuffs the stat sheet when he plays mid.
Yeah.
Parrish could come back, but I think Cordwell's like he's just so much better. How are they gonna? Setterfield had 80% CBAs on the weekend. Mara
Because
had
he's just the
14.
one that go.
Durham had 11, but he had an ankle issue, so he sat forward. Perkins got 43. Nick Barn got 68. So there's like it's a bit of a prediction game, but I think Cordwell's will get it should be 70% plus. In his 2 return games, he only had 50% CBAs. So it's interesting. Old Supercoach Scores website. When I did like a big post at the end of the last year of like what my team will look like. I had Cordwell in my midfield. When I did that, I think it would have been August or September team. Just was that impressed with him. Price in the 90s, so I'd have to like go back and look at what he averaged, but he can do 105 no problem in my opinion. When CBAs are good. Just looking at last year, he did 90. I think it was 94, 96, and the total CBAs were 46%. So you bump that up to 70, it should translate to 105, 110 plus. I'll take the injury risk because of the price, but makes me very, very nervous with his history. But I think I said before, last 3 seasons been over 20 games, so it's a bit of a fingers crossed and the cash gen situation sort of forcing people's hand. But I'll grab him this week. Fingers crossed, but yeah, hopefully he stays fit.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much have to. The thing is, you'll probably end up sort of your flex, whereas you'll end up like my M8 probably. So big difference there, but think it's too good to pass up, especially in my situation. So yeah, he'll be coming in for me. Any other players like that? You've got Mills there still. I think it's just not happening this year. I don't know. Look,
I mean, when you Philippou, Kitty, Mills. Mills is different because he just got suspended, so we'll see how that goes. But these guys with massive injury layoffs, like it's a tough ask to put out premium numbers when you miss. I mean, Mills has missed like 18 months, basically, maybe more. Kitty's missed a lot. Philippou's missed 4 months. I think, just let it play out. Don't go early on these guys. It's pretty dumb from my end on Philippou, but I mean, he plays and he's got the buys. I don't even know why I put him on the list. It's just a post buy. Wait, what happens this week?
Yep. Any others in sort of that range? I guess we could mention Stewart again. He turned up.
I didn't love what I saw from Stewart. Like I know he was good, but like it didn't seem he was looking for the ball. It was just kind of coming to him a lot. I don't know, like 420k. I mean, you can if you want. It's not for me.
You could do a lot worse.
Like the age is probably an issue. We saw him countless injuries this year. Is that knee fully healed? I mean, maybe it could be, but it reoccurred multiple times. His DT was terrible, I think.
Yeah, it was like 70. They just kept kicking to him. You could do worse. You could do better. I think I like Caldwell more. So,
yeah.
Far out, George just filtered sort of around that range, and Ned Long is 450k. Oh my god, he's made 250.
Yeah, it was predictable too. As much as it's hindsight, like a guy capable of what do you get, like 17 contested, 30 touches or whatever that game.
When did we sort of talk about him first? When he came back against Sydney?
We didn't go there. Like everyone in fantasy went there.
He was 280 again after that Sydney game where he turned up. So since then, he's made another 170 whilst giving you, 95, 100. That's a bad one.
It's like mid prices, like as much as they burn us all the time, like if the role is good, you can score in it.
Yeah.
It was. I did look at his numbers last year, and when he did get CPAs, he didn't even score that well. So that kind of spooked me a bit. So I didn't go there.
Yeah.
But players can get better. So yeah, it's a really good pick, and you hold for another week, and like seriously, there are worse flex spots than him at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't be going anywhere until there's a reason to.
Yeah.
God. I can't see much else sort of around. Like we're just sort of looking ahead, maybe like especially maybe for me as my whoever I trade Shelley to type of player. Dill Moore's body 370k, but the way they're going and he's going, I don't think
it's a strange one, that one. Yeah.
I briefly did talk. Actually, we could have talked about Bergman for Port. What happens there? Last two playing midfield. You know,
How much is he?
it's 380.
I really don't know what the role will be. I think it's going to be mid though.
Like against Adelaide, he played mid 104. Against Geelong, he had to go back. Was what people told me for an injury or two in defence. So he went back to the defence like midway through that game. And then the last game before the bye against Freo, midfield again, and scored another 104. So
Yeah,
it's very skeptical pick because like obviously it's his first few games ever playing midfield. He's still a pretty young kid. And does he stay there? I guess is a question over like a Wines, Drew. You know, when JHF's back, I don't know.
tackles a lot. I think it might be more of a fantasy play than a C1.
Yep.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
But yeah, I don't see many others options around that sort of area at the moment.
What about
Already
Hardeman?
yeah, he's 280k. That's probably not like a end of finish team flex player, but
He's got that
if you think-
130, 120 in the system.
yeah,
Everything other than that has been like pretty poor. Like everything except for one score under 60, but did play good. I don't think I'd go there for that price, but it was a good pickup.
yep. Don't see much else. Just a few high break evens. Zorko dunks, both like 150 break even. They might get to 500 ish in a few weeks. Be maybe a 23rd.
Though, bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe post that. I don't know. Would I go Shelley to Zorko for 100 and something K?
We got to get to K first.
Yeah, I know. All right, moving on. You want to look at some future targets, George, from this week's bye?
This is
just
next
very
week's
quickly.
topic. Yeah. Clark, Nass, Sinclair, Sorong, Andy. Marshall's got a big break even, but I think at 500 he'll be a decent pick now that the two terrible matchups out of the way. But I think there's actually another two coming very late in the year, but the run's not bad from here. I think Clark Nass is 500k. You just take that. I think he's had two. He had the ankle issue one game, and then this week he got smacked in the head and got off for HIA, and then came back as like a demon and just tore up the second half.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Nass would be my preferred next week. A lot of people are going Bont and then Nass next week, so that's what I'm doing. So sort of feel like you're going with the pack, but still, I think.
Well, Butter's got to be in there somewhere too.
Yeah, too as well. So I think we're all going to have similar targets, just money and stuff with Bont. So far, I think it's 40% with Bont, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Sinclair probably too expensive. Andy, I think he's actually a decent price for what he does.
600, just under.
Yeah, so if you can afford that, I'd be okay going there.
Yeah, can't do that. Yeah, that's it really. Nass just so clear next week off his bye, and then we're not going to advocate for Sarong, are we, on this podcast? I don't think.
You're like 104 every week.
That's about it. That's what you get. Be happy with it, because that is all you get. If he ever goes 140 in one singular game the rest of this year, George, it's going to feel like Christmas, honestly. So I just don't see it happening. That's a bit George, really, I guess. I guess we talk about captains this week, which look fairly. I mean, there's one man that's got to be involved there no matter what. And what you do before or after is up to you. But if you VC Cherry, you got 2 games left. After that, you got the Carlton Essendon that night, and then the what is it? Queen's birth, or King's birthday, should I say, on the Monday. So Gorn obviously there. It's probably no one. I guess Dacos as well. But you'd be happy captaining after that. So I think I'll probably do Cherry into Dacos just because I don't want to VC someone beforehand. Before Cherry and get debated. So yeah, probably Cherry into
Bond
Nick.
fresh off the bye against Hawthorn.
If you traded him in, yeah, I
You
guess
could
that's
VC. I'm just hesitant to take anything under 150, just given what people have done to Flynn this year. Gone 200, Meek 160. There's been others too. Rob 160. I think
Rowan.
you just need to, 180. Like you just have to VC. I think like
Yep.
Bond goes 150
You take
hypothetically,
it.
and I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
this is the only week where I'm gonna just based on what we've seen. So yeah, VC Sherry C. I don't care. I got Merritt, I think, or Gorn. No, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Merritt to Nick.
And then trades. So what are you thinking?
I just accidentally reversed my trade, so I'm putting him back in. Philippou, Flynn, Levi out, Bont, Cordwell, Clark in, done. I would like to go Whitfield over.
Caldwell.
Now that we saw him move a bit back over Cordwell, but
100K.
100K.
Yep.
So need that money. What about you?
So Caldwell and Clark are coming in. That's guaranteed. And then Marich is going out. And then again, I'm in that situation where it's like, do I just do Arch to a loop? Do I do like Cooper Simpson to Peddler? That's bloody costing me 7K.
Yeah.
It's like, is that worth a trade out? You know, we're using one of my trade outs to not trade out someone that's got any money on them.
Who's the other one in the F7?
Oh, Joe Berry, mate. Been there since day dot.
Who's got more money on their head?
Simpson by 4K.
Okay.
Just a little, yeah. Like if he was max full Berry, then there's another 200K I would have got this year, or 150, whatever. Yeah, it's a couple bad starting rook misses, but passes the pass. And I have Marias going out as the other one because he actually does have 220K on his head, but he's back this week and has a break even at 8. It's like, do I wait for the extra 20K or do I don't know, bro. So my trade outs are the hard part, really.
I feel like you're in this position every week where you're like, you don't get rid of, not sure.
Yep.
No, you can bring it in, but trading out's the issue. But yeah.
Because they're all shit. No one's got money. Huswaite, Boxall, Carroll, 180K. Like what? Arch is the one that's got 210 or whatever. Carroll, so yeah, it's not good, George. But yeah, Clark, Caldwell, and Peddler probably. Just got to key in on that. I don't know, sub risk, 150K.
Well, I think he's a good prospect as a rook.
I'm just better off doing Arch to 99K player or whatever.
If you need Peddler's money, I would go there. And he's not starting sub. Just depends on team sheet. If you see Berry and Draper in the same team, I think you're good.
Okay. So yeah, and then I'll have like 170, 180, whatever, depending what rookie I can trade out in the bank, and then that'll be just Lindsay up to Butters, and then I'll have to cash in Arch next week finally to get the extra bit.
Yep.
Have another, I don't know what I'll have in the bank then, another 70 or something left over, and then we wait. Shannon Neal plays Essendon, see what he does. Probably stuff all.
Yeah.
And then trade him to Sammy Darcy in one, and then I don't know.
Forward train.
Sheldrick's my flex. What have I got? 6 trades left. Clark making money, Peddler making money. Yeah, we're 22, and then I'll probably have to use 2 more or whatever to get Shelley to someone. Maybe 3. Yeah. Go down to 3 trades.
So I'll be going down to either 5 or 4. 5 or 4 with a bit of money, depending on Butters' price.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to use another 2 to get rid of Roberts. So I think I'm stuck with him.
Who do Port have next week? It's probably worth me waiting another week if on Butters. Melbourne.
I go Butters, yeah. Oh, we'll see the break even, just not this week.
If he scores 100, what is it next week?
Drop 40K, 35K or something.
Drop that, but then another week, what is it? Still 121.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 120 break even, you'd probably get him in. So
the only week we're going to cheer for Bedford ever.
Yeah, legit. If he actually scores like 60, I'll wait another week.
Yeah.
Because he might get to like 510.
Yeah.
Which is, that'd be handy. All right. Anyway. we'll probably change our trades again. No one should take our stuff gospel on a Monday because I ended up with Shannon Neal and Sheldrick. So
Yeah.
it's what it is. But
we'll be here next week. I'm like, Roy Atkins got subbed. Hopefully not.
I'm not doing that. I can tell you here on Monday, I'm not getting Rory Atkins in. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, or listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.